This is Portside Perspectives, exploring the yacht economy.
All right, hello everyone, and welcome back to Portside Perspectives. Today, I'm here with Brendan Bennett, and you know what, Brendan? Why don't I just let you tell everybody who you are and what you do?
Yeah, so I'm a broker with Off The Hook Yachts. I'm based out of Wilmington, North Carolina. We're a brokerage and wholesale firm. So what I mean by wholesale is we will buy a lot of trades from other brokers and dealers who can't take them, won't take them, so on and so forth. So we're unique to the boating industry that we own a lot of our used inventory rather than just broker it. So it's a unique business model in the marine industry, and we've got offices from South Florida up to New Hampshire. So we've got a good footprint on the East Coast.
Cool. So that's a bit about who you are right now. How did you get here? How did you even get involved in this business, and what brought you here? Tell me your origin story.
Yeah, so I grew up boating in Wilmington. My family had a boatyard growing up. They built custom sailboats and a couple custom sport fish. So I've grown up working on the service side of the industry, getting a little dirtier than I do in my day-to-day now. But in 2020, Off The Hook came and purchased the boatyard as a new headquarters in Wilmington. And so I switched over from doing paint and fiberglass work to selling boats. So it was a good opportunity, and grateful to work with the Off The Hook guys.
Yeah, cool. And so what you say you're maybe get back into Off The Hook and go a little bit deeper, explain a little bit more about the uniqueness of their business model and how they function, if you don't mind, just so people get a clearer understanding of why you're different.
Yeah. So the biggest difference is, like I said, we own a lot of our own used inventory rather than just brokering it. So what that allows us to do is take other trades on our inventory. So a lot of brokerages will not take their own trades. They will send them out to people like us. Where if you are trying to trade a used boat in on another used boat, we are happy to purchase that trade. We do so for a lot of dealers. So it's not only a service to customers, but it's also a service to dealers.
Yeah, I see that. Okay, so you're like you nailed the way. You're not just a service to the buyers and sellers, but you're also servicing direct to dealer. Like how many? Quite a number of dealerships, or
yeah, tons.
Yeah.
We're probably the biggest used boat buyer in the U.S.
Oh wow.
So what that helps buyers too is, since we get so many boats coming through our system, we oftentimes are able to get our hands on off-market boats. So we're able to connect buyers to boats they wouldn't normally have opportunities to. So just buyers interacting with people at Off The Hook is generally a huge asset to them at no cost. But they're able to get into something that is not something they would find online per se, or maybe not for the price they would get it online.
Mm-hmm. Cool. I'm just trying to pull up Off The Hook's website here right now to just kind of get a bit more of a sense of a little bit more about what it's all about here. But can you give me an idea of like the range of types of boats? Like, are we talking mostly smaller sailing
No,
yachts?
we'll buy anything 2005 generally and newer, and under about $9 million.
Oh, okay. So you got probably a pretty wide
We've got a huge variety of boats that we buy.
a big inventory. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's when it goes back to, also it's a service for dealers. Some dealers don't want to take a 2012 boat in on trade because then they have to deal with it, versus we will.
And so I'm just trying to get through the the website here, but there's just a lot of information I'd have to fill out to get the views of things. But so then you're selling everything from like I'm going to assume, you can maybe clarify then. So just small pleasure craft all the way up to how big? What's the biggest yacht you got in your inventory right now?
I think we just sold a 120. But generally, I would say our bread and butter is like 30 to 110 feet or so.
Oh, okay, so I
So
mean,
we're not really doing a ton of very small boats.
right.
not many boats really under 100 grand or so, but
Okay.
yeah,
That gives me
we've still got a pretty darn wide range.
yeah, for sure. But that gives me a bit more better sense of what you're actually focused on, and you nailed it there. Kind of like the 35 to what'd you say, around 100 and some feet.
110 or so, yeah.
110, yeah. Cool. And power boats or like motor yachts?
Yeah, all power boats. We really, I know we have sold a couple sailboats. I haven't personally, but mostly all power boats.
Cool. And you're just I don't mean to downplay it at all, but you're a broker through that brokerage, right?
I am, yep. And I'll also, work with dealers and buy trades from them as well. So
Right.
I do a little bit of both. Where I take
Does Off
trades
The
and
Hook do any charters with the inventory that they own, or is that kind
no,
of
we do
not
not.
at all?
No.
Okay. And so what is your guys's what's your marketing strategy then for this? I mean, you're one of the largest boat buyers did you say like in the world or in North America?
In North America.
In North America. So
yeah.
How do you get to be a name like that, and like what's the marketing strategy there? Is it mainly like networking and word of mouth and kind of shaking hands and kissing babies, or is it have you got a large digital footprint where you've kind of got your name out there all over the place? Give me a sense of like how does your marketing strategy within that brokerage work?
Yeah, there's like kind of like a couple arms to it. Firstly, us buying boats from dealers, that's kind of got its own lane of marketing. We will market digitally, emails, stuff like that. A lot of our relationships that have been in place for a while. Pride ourselves on being probably the easiest and best people to work with for dealers. So we're gonna, stick to our numbers that we tell them to buy boats for. We get back to them quickly. We're not gonna be, dragging things along. We're quick to close, so it makes it super simple for them to get their front end deals done.
Right.
As far as private sellers will sell their boats to us, but it's not the core of our business, I would say. So again, if a private seller says, "Hey, I need to get out of this boat, I need it to be gone in 2 days," there's not many people out there who can, come up with a solid amount of money in that amount of time, but we can. As for brokerage stuff, what I think sets us apart is we do have a full-time marketing team, like a lot of other brokerages. But like I said before, since we kind of market to buyers and sellers a little bit differently. Buyers, we like to lean on the fact that we're able to come across more deals and find them their boat with ease compared to a lot of other brokerages, since we have so many boats coming through our ecosystem that
just your sheer volume of your inventory.
Right. Just data points, really. We've got a custom CRM that we made that really helps all the Off The Hook people utilize what we do.
It was built internally, like it's an internal CRM that was built internally. Well, that's cool.
And then, with sellers, we've got, if I'm selling your boat on brokerage, me being able to take a trade, we've got our own finance company. We can help with insurance. We can help with aftermarket warranties. I like to say there's not much that, we can't do as far as the whole transaction goes. So
right.
We've got almost everything in-house in that.
Here's a question then. Are you, being that you buy so many vessels of various size, do you have your own team of like service personnel then that'll go over the vessels?
Yeah, we do have a service team as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is it large or is it, just, I mean, kind of
it's scattered around. So we use a lot of subs in some places. In North Carolina, we have our own service team. But since our boats are all over, we've got a couple people on the west coast of Florida, a couple people around Fort Lauderdale. So we're kind of scattered around.
Cool. And do you deal in only used boats, or being so tight with dealers, are you also dealing in new boats as well?
We carry two new boat brands, Yellowfin and Nortec. So we're the Mid-Atlantic Nortec dealer and Yellowfin dealer for North Carolina, and then Miami-Dade County.
Right. And how long have you been a broker yourself?
5 years.
5 years. So you kind of started right around COVID then, and people have been talking to, getting the sense that during that time, there was a major upkick in boat purchases because just the situation going on in the world. But now the industry has kind of come down to where it should be, or kind of come back to kind of a balanced place now. Is that something you've seen over the last 5 years since you've been doing this?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think COVID was crazy for a lot of industries. Boating was definitely crazy. But I think it's relatively normal now. There's good demand, there's a lot of good inventory out there, but it's not so lopsided like it was in COVID, where there wasn't a ton to choose from and everybody was just paying, you know, pretty much top dollar for boats.
Right.
Which they still are, but there's a little more wiggle room now on asking prices and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah. Are you heading to the Fort Lauderdale boat show here next week?
We
I
are,
guess
yeah.
this week.
We'll
It starts
have
this week. Yeah.
6 boats in the show, I believe. So
Off
heading
the
down
Hook
there
does.
tomorrow, and yeah. And then
Yeah.
we've since we're a new Yellowfin dealer, we'll have some presence at the Yellowfin booth in the convention center.
Nice. Nice. So is it starting to get probably starting to get a little bit busier than right now, getting prepped for that?
Yeah, definitely. It's
Yeah.
always a busy week for everybody in the boating industry. I think they say it brings in about as much revenue as the Super Bowl does. So
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
it's a
I mean,
massive undertaking, and props to everybody who puts all this stuff together down there.
yeah, for sure. And it's not just the week of the show itself. It's probably the following few weeks when people have had a chance to look at what's new and what's out there, and then they start looking at actually purchasing. And so the following
Yeah,
weeks
yeah.
probably start to get ramp up and keep you guys busy too.
Yep, absolutely.
Cool. Um, is there anything? I mean, are any insights you can give just on the industry as a whole? Like, you've been in it for about 5 years. It's, there's obviously people that have been in it for 20, 25, and guys that are just getting into it brand new. Um, your experience in selling boats as a broker. I know it's not the easiest career path all the time, especially when you're just getting started. Um, any insights, maybe some tips to anybody who's looking to get into it, or anything you want to share that any insights on where you see the industry going into the future here?
Right. As far as insights go, this may be more broker specific, but I think honesty. I mean, you sound like kind of cliche, but honesty is huge in the industry because um, people buy and sell boats pretty often. You'll find people who buy a boat every other year. So if somebody finds out you're dishonest with them, or you covered things up that you knew were wrong with the boat, you'll never sell them another boat in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And there's plenty of people who come in the industry and make a quick buck, but I don't think that's the right way to do it. I think,
At least
building
not for any
long-lasting
longevity
relationships
anyway, right?
and, doing that over time by really doing right by people, whether that be other brokers or buyers, sellers, or what have you, that goes a really long way. It's all such a cohesive industry between the people in yacht insurance, boat yards, the whole 9 yards. It goes a really long way to be a nice guy and to be honest and do right by people.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that'd probably be my one piece of advice for anybody starting out. Don't get discouraged, but do the right thing. If you find something wrong on a boat, tell somebody. Don't cover it up.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it does. Excuse me, seem like a very relationship based business, and there's a tremendous amount of trust. I mean, somebody's potentially putting their life savings into a purchase sometimes, or probably a lot of times, trying to buy a vessel like even a small one. It may not be billions and millions of dollars, but it's still, to that person, it's a
Yeah,
big
it's a ton of
purchase.
money.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, even if you're selling something to the richest person in the world, nobody likes to feel as if money is wasted, and they like to know somebody's working hard to make sure they've covered everything as far as inspections and services and the whole 9 yards. So
Mm-hmm.
it's relationship heavy, and it's a whole lot easier to burn them than it is to build them. So
Yeah.
you just gotta make sure you're on top of it.
Yeah. I mean, you guys have maybe it's not a unique, but I think maybe you have a a different perspective on things, being that you deal in so many boats in your inventory, and like different types, because you're buying more than just one brand. You're buying boats from kind of all over the place. So would you say you'd be in a little bit different position than a broker who's selling just a certain set of brands, and that's all they focus on, and compared to yourselves, where you're dealing with such a wide range of vessels?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's, people who sell just new boats versus people who deal in used boats. They both got their own nuances that, the new boat guys are going to know about the new boats that I won't. And then, I'd like to think that we're pretty darn knowledgeable when it comes to used boats and all sorts of different motors and different options on different boats, and what's popular, what's not popular, what's going to be easier to sell when the customer wants to turn around and sell the boat, because that's, something people often overlook. So there's definitely differences there.
Yeah. So what would you say, just off the top, don't think too hard about it, but what's a trend you're seeing that's being a popular trend in vessels, in what you're seeing, through what you're dealing with right now?
It's really regional. Like in our area in the Carolinas, people are really into center console catamarans. Like Freeman Boat Works is a huge builder of them, and they were kind of the pioneer in this space, and they're built in Charleston. So they're 3 hours from us. Those are really popular. In South Florida, you're going to see a lot of day boat style boats, Pardos, Vanquish, stuff like that. You're not going to see many of them up here, so it's very regional. But overall, the center console fishing power cats have, really taken a big share of market share in that category, and you see a lot of different manufacturers now trying to follow in those footsteps and make something that they can sell as well.
Right. Any newer technologies that you're seeing come out that are impressive to you personally? Anything that has been catching your eye, for whatever that means? I mean, technology can range from anywhere from drive systems to, the galley. I mean, is there anything out there that you've seen coming out recently as far as technology goes that really kind of makes you turn your head at all?
The Seakeeper Ride system. This is a lot of people know of Seakeeper. They're a gyro stabilizer. The Seakeeper Ride is a trim tab they've made, so it's gonna help keep the boat more stable when you're up on plane, and mainly used in boats sub 35 feet or so. But that system's pretty awesome. If somebody's considering it, I think it's well worth the money, and it's worth taking a boat for a sea trial that has it, because it makes a huge difference.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of got to the end of my list of questions here. Is there anything else you wanted to share to anybody out there? Anything you want to make sure gets out there from your end?
No, I think you about covered it.
Okay.
I'm all good on my end.
Well, I asked this of everybody, just a little bit of a kind of a fun question at the end here. You can answer either one or both, but what's your favorite destination to sail to or take a boat to, that you've been to, or is there a vessel that really sticks out in your mind, something that kind of meant something to you in your life, being around boats as long as you have? Is there a boat that you'll never forget? So you can answer one or both of those. It's up to you.
There's a cool boat that's been in our family for a while. It's called a Harker's Island boat. They were old shrimp and gill net boats of commercial fishermen around here. It's a single screw stick steer boat. It's built in the 70s, and it's something that I'm been putting off redoing, but going to be redoing it soon. So I'd say that's one that sticks out to me for sure.
Oh, well, I kind of got your it's a labor of love, I suppose. That you're fixing it up, and have you been working on it for a while?
No, I've honestly been kind of lazy and kind of let it go. So it's
life.
The price tag of redoing it is climbing by the day.
Yeah. Well, that's cool though. Cool. All right. Well, thanks for sharing that, man. And honestly, it was good chatting with you and having you on here. And maybe we'll set up another chat down the line here sometime to talk again. But for now, and I'll let you go and enjoy the rest of your day. And enjoy the boat show there this week.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right. Have a good one.
All right.
Thanks for sailing with us. This has been Portside Perspectives.